All right, everyone, get ready for today's deep dive. We're looking at a project that could totally change how we diagnose those, respiratory illnesses.
Oh, yeah.
Like imagine just coughing to your phone
Right.
and it tells you if it's asthma, COPD, even TB.
Yeah, it's actually closer than you think. Respiratory diseases, they're a huge problem worldwide, and especially in India.
Right.
They cause a disproportionate amount of deaths and disabilities, sadly. And the traditional ways to diagnose them, they can be pricey, hard to get to, especially in rural areas.
So that's where this Melodies of the Lungs thing comes in.
Exactly.
It's led by this Dr. Niraj Kumar Sharma.
Oh, yeah, at IIT Guwahati.
Okay. And it just got funding to actually make it happen.
Yeah, it's exciting, right? It's not just an idea anymore. It's going from, the proposal to actually being out there.
So we might see results soon.
Hopefully.
Okay, so let's break it down. What makes Melodies of the Lungs so different?
Well, basically, it's an AI system that diagnoses these respiratory illnesses by analyzing sounds from your lungs.
Wait, the AI is listening to my cough and telling me if I have pneumonia.
Yeah, pretty much.
How does that even work?
Well, it all starts with data, lots of it. The team is building this massive data set of respiratory sounds from all sorts of people across India.
So they're recording every cough and wheeze.
Pretty much, but it's not random. They're looking at variations in the sounds, because of geography, age, even genetics.
So a cough in Delhi might sound different from a cough in Mumbai.
Exactly. And those little differences can be really important for getting the diagnosis right.
Wow. Okay, so they're collecting all these sounds, then what?
Well, that's where the AI magic happens. They're using some really advanced techniques.
Like what?
Things like transformers and self-supervised learning.
Transformers, like the robots.
Haha, no, not quite. Think of them like filters. Super efficient filters
Right.
that help the AI zero in on the important parts of the sound.
Okay, I get it. And self-supervised learning.
It's like, imagine you're teaching a kid about animals. You don't need to label every single picture. They can learn by themselves by just observing and making connections, right?
I guess so.
Well, self-supervised learning is kind of similar. The AI learns from the data itself without needing a doctor to label every cough or breath.
So basically, they're creating this super smart AI that can understand all the nuances of lung sounds.
Exactly.
Okay, but how will people actually use this in real life?
Well, the final piece is a smartphone app
Okay.
that healthcare workers or even just people can use to analyze these sounds.
So instead of going to the clinic, I could just cough into my phone and it'll tell me what's wrong.
Yeah, in a way, that's the idea. You cough or breathe into your phone, the app processes it using the AI.
And boom, diagnosis.
Well, a potential diagnosis, at least.
That's incredible. This could really change healthcare, especially in places where it's hard to get to a doctor.
Right, that's the hope.
But, I'm also curious about the team behind all this. Are they, the right people to actually pull this off?
Oh, absolutely. Dr. Sharma and his team at the Spin Lab, they've already done some amazing work in this area.
Really?
Yeah, they developed an AI tool for screening COVID-19 using respiratory sounds.
Wow.
So they're building on that experience now. And with this new funding,
They can really get things going.
yep, expand the team, get new equipment, work with hospitals all over India to, fine-tune the AI and test the app.
This is starting to feel like a turning point for how we deal with respiratory illnesses.
I think so too.
I'm so curious to see where this project goes and how it'll help people.
Me too.
But before we get too far ahead, let's dig into those specific objectives of the project and how they're going to, make it all happen.
Yeah, good idea. So Melodies of the Lungs has these three main pillars, right? Each one focuses on a key part of making this AI tool for diagnosis
Okay.
and making sure it's reliable and accessible for everyone.
All right, well, let's hear about those pillars then. Okay, you said three main pillars or objectives. What's the first one, and why is it so important?
Right. So the first one, it's all about building that big data set we talked about.
Of respiratory sounds.
Yeah, those respiratory sounds, but they're not just recording any old cough.
Right.
They're being really strategic about it.
How so?
Well, they're getting data from all different regions, different age groups, and they're even factoring in things like, lifestyle and the environment.
So it's about giving the AI, a well-rounded education.
Exactly, like teaching it the language of lungs.
Uh-huh, I like that.
But it goes even further. They're also gathering extra information about each person.
Like what?
Medical history, demographic data, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So they can spot any biases in the data,
Yeah.
Make sure the AI model is accurate for everyone, no matter who they are.
That's really important.
Yeah, it is. They're being super thorough.
Okay, so how are they actually getting all these sounds? Are they sending people out with microphones?
Haha. That would be a lot of work. No, they're using technology to make it easier. India has a ton of people using smartphones, right?
Yeah, pretty much everyone.
So they've got this website where people can participate using their own phones.
So it's kind of crowdsourced.
Exactly. It's like a nationwide symphony of coughs and breaths.
That's a pretty cool way to put it.
It lets them get data from everywhere, even remote areas where it's hard to get healthcare.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and they're partnering with hospitals and clinics, too, to reach even more people.
So they're building a digital stethoscope that can reach everyone.
I like that, a digital stethoscope.
All right, so they've got all this data. What's next?
Well, that brings us to objective number 2, the foundation model.
The foundation model.
Yeah, this is like the brain of the system, you know? The AI that learns to recognize those patterns and the sounds.
You mentioned transformers and self-supervised learning before. How do those fit in here?
Right, so the foundation model, it's like a master student of lung sounds, okay? And the transformers, they're like the conductor, helping the AI focus on the key parts of the sound, the important melodies.
I see. So it's not getting distracted by all the, background noise.
Exactly. And then the self-supervised learning, that's like letting the AI study on its own.
Without needing a teacher for every single sound?
Yeah, it figures out the patterns and connections by itself.
That's pretty amazing.
It is, right. It's like the AI is developing its own ear for these subtle differences in coughs and breaths.
Okay, so this foundation model, is it just for diagnosing one specific illness?
No, that's the cool part. It's designed to be super versatile.
Okay.
It's more like a platform that can be adapted for different respiratory conditions.
Like a Swiss Army knife for diagnosing lung problems.
Exactly. So they're building this powerful AI brain, and then the final step is all about making it user-friendly, you know, accessible to everyone.
Okay, how do they do that?
Well, they're developing a smartphone app.
Ah, so people can use it anywhere.
Exactly. It puts the power of AI diagnosis right in people's hands.
So instead of going to the clinic, I could potentially get diagnosed with my phone.
Well, that's the goal. You cough or breathe into your phone's microphone. The app uses the foundation model to analyze the sound.
And it gives you a diagnosis.
The potential diagnosis, yeah, along with some recommendations on what to do next.
That sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
Are there any challenges they might face in making this app work?
Yeah. I mean, making an app like this has got to be tricky. What are some of the challenges they might run into?
Well, one of the big ones is making sure the app is reliable.
Okay.
Accurate for everyone, no matter what phone they're using.
Right.
Because smartphones, they're not all made equal.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
And then there's background noise that can mess with the sound analysis.
Makes sense.
So they've got to test it in all sorts of situations.
Yeah, like making sure you can hear the symphony, even if there's a little static.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, getting people to actually use the app, that's another hurdle.
Yeah, I bet some people would be a little hesitant to trust a diagnosis from their phone. Right, especially healthcare workers. And some people might just be, skeptical about coughing into their phone for medical advice.
It's a big change from how we usually think about healthcare.
It is, yeah. So building trust, educating people about the technology, that's going to be super important.
For sure. And what about privacy?
Oh, that's a huge one.
Yeah, it's sensitive information.
Absolutely. They're dealing with health data, so keeping that safe is crucial.
Right, so it's not just about making a cool app.
No, it's got to be reliable, secure, and ethical.
All those things.
But I'm confident that Dr. Sharma and his team, they're on top of it. I mean, they already built that COVID screening tool, and they're working with experts in data security and AI ethics.
So they're thinking about all the angles?
Yeah, they're approaching it with a lot of care, which is great. And, we can't forget the potential impact.
Right. This could really change things.
If it works, Melodies of the Lungs could totally revolutionize how we diagnose and treat respiratory illnesses.
Especially in those places where it's hard to get to a doctor.
Exactly. Think about it. A smartphone becomes a powerful diagnostic tool, bringing healthcare to everyone.
Wow.
Imagine a healthcare worker in a remote village using this app to screen patients.
It's like giving them a superpower.
It really is. Earlier diagnosis, better treatment, maybe even saving lives.
That's an amazing vision for the future of healthcare.
I think so. And it's a future that's being built right now.
That's so cool.
It is, right? It's all thanks to researchers like Dr. Sharma and his team pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
This has been a really fascinating deep dive.
It has.
Melodies of the Lungs, what a cool project.
Yeah, seeing AI being used like this is amazing.
For anyone listening who wants to learn more,
Check out the show notes.
we'll have links to the Spin Labs website.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts too, you know? What other ways could you see this technology being used?
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the future of healthcare.
Until next time, keep exploring. Stay curious.